welcome to this video. I'm Ryan, second Pace Triathlon. We're going to be talking about race day, and specifically we're going to be talking about special needs hacks. So, special needs are the bags that you have, and it's particularly for the 140.6 inch, the full Ironman distance race. Typically a 70.3 race, you will not have a special needs bag. So for a full Ironman race, you do have special needs bags, and what they are bags on the bike and on the run, usually at the halfway points, where you've got something in that bag that you might need later on during the race. So you drop those off the morning of race day, and they take them out and have them on the course, and that's where you pick them up. So we'll kind of go over tips and ideas of what to put in those special needs bags. If you maybe this is your first time, or maybe you went through the first time and you were just kind of like, I didn't know what to do with the special needs bags. Here's some ideas for you, the what you can do for next time. So the main thing is you're going to put something in that special need bag just in case. So you get through the bike, or I say put something in there that you'll need for sure, but I would also count, if you get into a special needs area, that sometimes your bag didn't make it for some reason. I mean, the volunteers do the best they can, but after all, they're human. So there could be opportunity that you don't get that special needs bag. So mentally be prepared with, if you get there and your special needs bag isn't there. Hopefully that doesn't make or break your race and you can live off the course. But most of the time, it's just in case you get to that special needs area, you need refills of your hydration, whatever, nutrition or anything. Keep in mind that what you put in, you will not get back. So don't put anything important in there, because they take the bags, whatever you don't use, they take and they throw it away. Whatever bags don't get picked up, they throw them away. You will not get them whatsoever. You cannot get them at the end of the race in the triathlon transition area with all the other bags, your T1 and T2 bags and morning bag. They will not bring them back. So you do not get them back. Whatever you put in there, you will not get them back. Don't put your favorite stuff in there. Don't put your favorite socks. Don't put your inhaler that you can't live without. So don't put important stuff in those bags. You will not get them back. So I'm going to go through a few ideas of what to throw in those special needs bags. Dry socks for the run. So Chattanooga the full Ironman race in 2019, it was 100 degrees. In retrospect, I wish I would have put in dry socks, because when I got to the special needs area, my socks were so wet because of sweat, and I've been pouring water on myself. I had ice and socks around my neck, and been melting and dripping down my body into my socks. At that point in time, my socks were so wet, my feet were so chafed and just bloated, and it was just not comfortable. I wish I'd have put dry socks in there for the run. If I didn't get them back, it was $2-3 that I don't get back at the end of the race that I didn't use. Or if you do want them and you just don't want to change them, just stick in your pocket. Extra treats. I do lists like this on the bike special needs bags, because usually I could put frozen water bottles in the morning when I drop them off, and not too many of them in there. You don't want to make it a big old brick that somebody has to carry around for the volunteers. You can put it in there, and like bars and anything, because if it's out, it's going to be out in heat and it's going to be melting. If it's chocolate or bars or anything like that, it's going to be a goopy mess. So I froze water bottles, and I put drinks in there too, and it was still half frozen in Ironman Chattanooga in 2019 when it was getting up to 100 degrees. By the time I picked it up on the second loop of the bike course, it was still pretty cold. So whatever you got in there, if you put in treats or anything, or any food or any consumables that kind of melts in the heat, consider putting like just a mini little water bottles in there. Drink the water out and then put in tap water and just freeze them overnight, and then put them in the bag and put them in your special needs bags. You can do that for the run, but more than likely by the time you get to the run bag, it's going to be melted, and it's not really going to. I tried it and for Ironman Chattanooga, and it really didn't make it any cooler. I think just for a little bit, it didn't really make it any cooler necessarily, maybe just a little bit, but by the time I got to the run, all the bottles were kind of thawed out. So more so for the bike special needs bag than the run. I mean, it might make the run bag last a little bit longer, but it's just out in the sun, and it's going to get hot and melted, and it's going to be, whatever you put in the run bag, count on it being a goopy mess, so just beware. But put your extra treats in there. Like, I like peanut butter M&Ms. I put those in my special needs bag for the bike ride as a special little perk. Especially on the bike, I can take in more nutrition than I can on the run. On the run, I put a few things in there, like Pop-Tarts and stuff that I might find appealing. But when it was 100 degrees, when I got to 13 miles on the run, I'm in Chattanooga 2019, it was 100 degrees. I didn't care about eating at that point, so it really didn't help me out at that point. But just whatever extra treats you think, some little perk, Primrose jelly sandwich you only carry on the bike or something like that, consider putting that in your special needs bag. I always put, if you have anything loose in there, like I do Pepto tabs just in case I have indigestion. Um, uh, if you're doing salt tabs or anything like that, put your loose, small stuff in Ziploc bags in there, because sometimes the volunteers will rip them open for you, and if it's just loose and small, it's going everywhere, and you're going to be looking on the pavement. It's going to be frustrating. So put your stuff in Ziploc bags inside the bags, because that way you can find it a little bit easier. Mark your bag well. You can put your name on there, but definitely put your number. That's how they find the bag. So make sure your number, they have stickers that come with it, but I write it all over the bag, and I put special tape on there just so I know it's mine. And just make sure you mark it well. Don't knot it up too tight. If you do knot it up super tight, then the volunteers over there struggling with it, and they're eventually just going to rip it open anyway. So don't knot it up too tight. Put it in there firm enough that when they take it and throw it around, it's not going to open up and spill your stuff out. But don't do a super knot unless you're okay with somebody just ripping it open, which in the end they could do that. It's not a big deal. You need to make the decision: are you going to get the special needs bag well in advance of getting to the special needs area, especially on the bike? On the bike, usually they'll have someone up front. They have a spotter that will call out and say, do you want your special needs? You need to be cleared, yes or no. And then they radio down and they get that stuff out in advance, so when you ride up, you're not waiting forever to get your stuff. So make sure that you're aware where that spotter is. You're paying attention when you're looking at the maps. Where is the special needs drop-off area? Where am I going to get the stuff on the course? So when you run up there, and on the run, if you're half delusional by the time you get to the special needs area, make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're looking for that person that's looking for your numbers, because if you get up there, you're still going to get it, but it's going to take more time if you don't know where that spotter's at and tell them that you do want your bag. So you make that decision. You can change your mind and then pull up and try to get it, but make your decision as soon as possible. Sometimes I use my special needs and sometimes I don't. I do like the special needs because I take the time to stand up off my bike to kind of stretch out my back and stuff, especially on a halfway point Ironman race. It's nice just to get off the seat just for a few minutes. The volunteers will hold your bike for you. There's porta potties there if you need to take a bio break. It's just, I hate to tell people, take it easy and just relax for a little bit. I mean, the clock is still running when you're in special needs, but it's a mental refresher to kind of hop off the bike, get rejuvenated, get your stuff, eat your stuff, switch out your hydration, go to the bathroom, stretch, touch your toes, stretch out the back, and then get back on your bike and finish the race. It made all the world of difference for me in Ironman Chattanooga last year in 2019. I made a special point to stop and stretch my back out because it was killing me. I needed that. I took 5 minutes, stretched out my bike, got my food, switched out my stuff, took it easy, and then hit the road. So those are some of my tips on special needs hacks. Like I said, the key is you don't get the stuff back you put in there. If you think you might need it, put it in there. M&Ms, Pop-Tarts, drinks, anything you think you might need, refills on your hydration mix, put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in there. They should have water at the special needs that you can mix up your stuff. So if you think you're going to need it, put it in there and just be okay with not getting it back at the end of the race. That's my big key, especially like on the run. You might also put, with dry socks, you might put some lubrication, tri-slide or something like that for chafing or anything like that, more extra sunscreen. They have that on the course, but if you get to a special needs area and you're just like, you're taking a mental break, that could be something you could do too. So again, put something in there you think you might need just in case. Be okay with if you don't get it because it might get lost. And be okay with you don't get any of it back if you don't use it or take it with you. That's my kind of key tips for the special needs bags. I've done videos of what the special needs bags are, so search up the YouTube channel for that. You can find out just how to lay them out, how I go about putting everything in there and how you get them set up. But this one is just kind of a special needs focus on the hacks you could do. With that, that's the end of my discussion on that. If you have any questions or any comments, or you need my take on something, always put it in the comments or videos, and email me back, whatever you got to do, and I'll be happy to get back to you, and we'll see you in the next video. Talk to you later.